Bush's news conference this morning, which I'm sure was a painful experience, and he was talking about the energy bill and also talking about nuclear power. I saw a little bit of the news conference myself, and I saw him talking about nuclear power and not some of the clean, renewable, alternative sources of energy. Let me just speak to, you mentioned nuclear waste. I mean, this is actually a place that there is a difference between Democratic candidates, the issue of nuclear power. And there's a clear difference between me, Senator Clinton, and Senator Obama on this. They have a different view than I do. I am dead against building more nuclear power plants. I'm against it. I don't think it's the answer. And the reason I don't think it's the answer are some of the things you already said. We don't have a safe way to dispose of the waste. It takes forever to get a nuclear power plant online. They're extremely expensive. It's been decades, which you just pointed out, since the last nuclear power plant came online in this country. And they're also dangerous. You know, on top of all that, I mean, if we actually double the number of nuclear power plants on the planet next year, which is impossible, but if we did that, it'd take care of 1/7 of the problem of global warming. This is not the solution. I mean, let me just take a second and tell you what I think we should do. We should cap carbon emissions in this country, and the cap ought to come down every year, and then below that cap, we ought to make the polluters pay. We ought to make anybody who's still putting out carbon dioxide under the cap participate in an auction and buy a permit to do it. And then we ought to use that money to invest in wind, solar, cellulose-based biofuels, geothermal, all the clean, renewable sources of energy. By the way, when we do that, we should create at least 1 million new jobs in this country. Probably more than that, but at a minimum of 1 million. And those jobs can be used to help where so many jobs have been lost here in Iowa, in my state of North Carolina. We all know about the Maytag plant closing in Newton, Iowa. That plant I was talking about my father worked in when I was growing up in North Carolina is closed now. I mean, these jobs are gone. So you can use this transition to create jobs for the places that jobs need to be created. Now, I'm not only against nuclear power, I'm against building any more coal-fired power plants unless and until we have the ability to capture the carbon, which we do not today. We should invest in that technology. We have, but so far we don't have it. And then I think we actually need a president who asks Americans to be patriotic about something other than war, to be willing to sacrifice on behalf of their country. So, to alter our behavior, to serve at home, to serve in the workplace, and serve in the kind of vehicles we drive, change the kind of vehicles we drive. And if we do all those things, and we're in the process of moving in the right direction, then we actually have the credibility to go to China and India and the developing world and make certain that we have a global solution. Because America can't do this alone. But America can't be a terrible example and try to lead others in the right direction. Those are the things that I would do as president.